These are men who put on their uniform out of a sense of duty, out of a sense to go and protect and defend. That's why it's called Israel Defense Forces. We've never done any offensive war. We never will. It's not part of our goals. We're not looking to expand territory. We're not looking to kick anybody out of their homes. We will do what we have to. And that's exactly what's going to happen in the next days, months, weeks, whatever it will be.
Are you the devil?
No, definitely not.
Do you want to kill?
No, that's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to go to war. Me, especially out of all people, I haven't waited for this. I don't want to do it, but it's something that you have to do.
Avi Mini for Rebel News in southern Israel. We're on our way now to catch up with a couple of combat soldiers who will be the first to enter when the ground offensive into Gaza begins. Can you tell us from the front line, what's the morale like at the moment?
So as somebody who did 3 years, made Aliyah from a different country, somebody who's married, I have a whole lot of stuff going on in my life, a lot of different priorities. The guys who are in Miluim, guys who have families, guys who have been here, been there, want to go to war, don't want to go to war, civilians who were called up. People have a lot of stuff to live for, a lot of things on their mind. This is a war. This is an initiative that has just united everybody in a way that I've never seen. Never seen, not in the Jewish people, not in the land of Israel, not in the military, nowhere. So you want to ask about morale. There's nothing people want more than to just go in there and not kill, not avenge, not bloodthirsty, to just get some justice done, to really just erase this threat, bring peace to southern Israel, which has been for so long. It's about time. People could live in peace and they could play basketball on their front lawn and they can play with their kids on a Saturday afternoon and not worry about people coming in and slaughtering, 50% of their community. That's something that really unites everybody. And even though it's been 3 weeks and we've been pushed off, we've had plans that have been, canceled and rescheduled again and again and again, and I'm sure there still will be. People are with a smile, even if it's an internal smile sometimes, ready to go in and just completely charged and ready to go.
And me personally, I try to lift up the avira, like the vibes, because it is hard times, but it doesn't mean, we're Am Yisrael, we have to always be strong and keep going.
Now, obviously, there's many around the world that have gotten over the massacre and are now looking at people like you, and you're now the devil. How does that make you feel?
I try not to think about it too much because it does make my blood boil, seeing everything that's going on in America, because that's where I'm from Miami. And so, I don't know, it's really easy to get it twisted.
Are you the devil?
No, definitely not.
Do you want to kill?
No, that's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to go to war. Me, especially out of all people, I haven't waited for this. I don't want to do it, but it's something that you have to do.
Why?
You have to protect your people. And until Hamas is erased, it's just going to keep happening. There's always going to be people that hate us, and we just have to always come on top.
First couple of days after the horrific attack on southern Israel from Gaza, a few thousand terrorists coming in, even civilians following suit, there was sympathy around the world. That sympathy waned very quickly, and it went from the narrative being Hamas are the brutal terrorists to, look at these soldiers that are bloodthirsty. Right. I want to understand the human side of it, because the side we saw come into Israel was inhumane. These were people that were clearly looking to butcher, rape, maim whoever they can get their hands on. And unfortunately, we are seeing civilians caught up in the middle. So we know that civilians are going to get killed in the crossfire, of course. How does that reconcile? How do you, especially when people are making that moral equivalence, how do you see it? And how do you see it from serving with your comrades?
I think it's just critical to understand from the get-go the very simplest of answers to a very complicated question. Israel's military is like no other. It's a military of the people, by the people, for the people. It's not a profession. It's not something you go and you serve 4 years mandatory service. Everybody from your librarian to your kindergarten teacher to your wives have been in the military system because it's only for the security of the people. And they might have been in logistics, packing boxes. It could have been they were a doctor in the military. It could have been they were a combat soldier who just did his job to defend the borders. Israel's military is a humane military. And that's why the differentiation that is made by the media sometimes of, well, there were civilians who were butchered and there were also soldiers who were attacked, almost like it's a fair act of defiance or some kind of legitimate act. It's not. They're 18-year-olds, they're 19-year-olds who are just doing their legal duty, and after they finish, they'll go right back to college. They'll go right back to taking care of their communities like they were. A lot of soldiers were killed off duty at their homes in Be'eri, in Nir Oz. Those are not legitimate military targets. These are not men who are mercenaries who come and enlist and want to go and fight. These are men who put on their uniform out of a sense of duty, out of a sense to go and protect and defend. That's why it's called Israel Defense Forces. We've never done any offensive war. We never will. It's not part of our goals. We're not looking to expand territory. We're not looking to kick anybody out of their homes. We will do what we have to. And that's exactly what's going to happen in the next days, months, weeks, whatever it will be.
How do you feel about obviously there's going to be a lot of Palestinian, and there currently are a lot of Palestinian civilians that are caught up in the crossfire. How do you feel about that?
The Palestinians that are against what Hamas is doing, I feel very terrible for them. But the ones that support them, I don't want to say they're just as worse, but to some extent they are. It's like you see the kids that were young in Tzuk Eitan in 2014. Those are the kids that are committing these crimes right now.
The IDF's conditions, the IDF's mandates that they give to the Gazan population is very clear. It's get out of the way of danger before danger comes to you. If you're in the way, you will get caught up. We're going to do everything in our bounds. I will as a commander, I know my guys will, to do everything we can to save and save from harm any civilian that we meet. Like you said, it's part of the price of war. We've already seen that it's impacted the civilians. We're sorry about that. But again, the finger goes to Hamas, does not go to Israel. The finger goes to looking at the footage from a couple Saturdays ago. That's where the eyes of the world need to be, on Hamas, on the 500,000 liters of fuel that they're withholding, on the terrible conditions that they've put their civilians in. That's where the eyes of the world need to be, not on the soldiers who are just there to defend and protect their land.
Are you scared to go in?
A little scared, but fear is a good thing. It saves your life at the end of the day.
Is Israel going to win?
Of course. We always come on top. If not now, then at some point. We always win. We make sure of that.
Do you know anyone that was directly affected by the attacks?
I know a couple lone soldiers that passed away and that were injured. One of the friends in my pluga, in my platoon, was injured because he lives in Ashkelon. And there's a lot of terrorists came there, and he basically was okupatzt. I don't know how to say that in English.
He was called in?
Yeah, basically called in with kitat konenut, with the people that basically guard the first responders of the yishuv, of his neighborhood. And he was there fighting terrorists all day. And he got shot twice, and thank God he's okay now, but he's resting up, and yeah.
And what's the morale of your guys now?
We really try and keep up the vibes. We play music all day. We do what we have to do, and we dance. We sing. Because there's a lot of people that it's very weak times right now. It's hard times, and a lot of people are very weak, and it hurts a lot of people. So we know that we have to take charge and take responsibility, and really just be happy and stay strong for those people.
Have you seen combat yet?
A little bit. I was in Be'eri. I was doing more slikot, a lot of patrols right next to Gaza, things like that. Can't get too into it, but yeah.
And how does it feel, though? How does it feel?
It's terrible. It's hard. I saw things that I didn't think I would ever see. And it changes you, but it's not... you have to put that to the side, like I said earlier. And...
Is your family worried about you back in the States?
I have my mom and my grandma back in the States. My sister's here in Mikveh Alon right now. She's doing a Hebrew course, she just drafted. But yeah, my mom's, on one side she's very worried for me, but on the other side she knows that I'm strong and she knows that I'll be okay. And she supports me.
What's your message to the rest of the world that's watching these lovers, haters, maybe two separate messages?
Lovers, I'm here with you. I love you. Even the haters, I love you guys too. There's no room for hate in this world. And one day the truth will come out. One day everyone will see that we're not the bad guys and we just want peace. We're just protecting our people. That's all we're doing. And that's all we ever wanted to do.
If you think it's important for the world to hear from those who are actually on the front line in the battle instead of the mainstream media or social justice warriors or Twitter experts in the safety of their home in Australia or Canada or America or wherever else they may be, make sure to like, comment, but most importantly, share it far and wide. And if you want to see more of our frontline reporting, go to thetruthaboutthewar.com and follow and share all our stories from here in southern Israel. Thetruthaboutthewar.com. If you support our mission, also consider chipping in to help cover our costs. Thetruthaboutthewar.com.